Good morning, boys and girls. This morning our agenda is we will do a read aloud, we will do a reading lesson, and then you will complete some independent reading. Today the materials that you'll need are a piece of paper, and you'll fold it in half like a hot dog. You'll need a pencil or a pen. Before we dive into our book, If the Shoe Fits, 2 Cinderella Stories, let's take a look at the genre of this story. Fairy tales are stories about magical and imaginary beings and lands that teach us lessons. This story, If the Shoe Fits, is in fact a fairy tale. As we read If the Shoe Fits, 2 Cinderella Stories today, we're going to be looking for characteristics that make it a fairy tale. A couple of things to look for would be clues that the story is a make-believe, endings that are happy, conflicts, resolutions, and lessons. And don't forget magic. Before we dive into our story today, we need to take a look at some vocabulary words that we're going to see as we read. You might know these words, but in case you don't, we're going to review them. The first word that we'll come across today is shears. Shears is a cutting instrument in which 2 blades move past each other, like scissors. However, a shear is typically a lot larger than a pair of scissors. The next word we'll come across is beamed. Beamed means bright and a wide smile. For example, I beamed when I saw the candy wall at the candy store. Obviously, I would be really excited. The next word is thrilled. To show extreme excitement. You can see our little stick figure jumping up and saying, "Yay!" The last word is superb. Superb is a synonym for excellent. Have you ever wished somebody could just magically disappear? Or you could fix all your problems with just a wave of a wand? Today we're going to start a collection called If the Shoe Fits, 2 Cinderella Stories. I called it a collection because it actually has 2 stories built into it. The first one is called A Cinderella Named Zoe. And this is the one that we're going to focus on today. As I read, I want you to think about the conflicts and the resolution that the main character Zoe experiences throughout this fairy tale. A Cinderella Named Zoe. Once not long ago, there was a girl named Zoe. She loved school, especially math, PE, and science. Her stepbrother Finn enjoyed playing tricks on Zoe. One day, their mother tried logging onto her laptop, but her password wasn't accepted. Finn, did you change my password? No, Mom. Try Zoe's password. It worked. Zoe, cried their mother, you know the rule. You can't use my computer without permission. Instead of going to Randall's party tomorrow, you'll do Finn's chore and mow the lawn. But Mom, I didn't. Laughing, Finn went outside. Now I know sometimes I change my password on my computer for safety reasons. I'm wondering, how do you think the password was changed? Do you think Finn did it? Or maybe Zoe actually did it? I don't know either. Let's keep reading. Randall had invited all of his friends to his birthday party. His mom was baking a delicious chocolate cake. He hoped Zoe would come. She was one of his best friends. The next day, Finn and their mother left for Randall's party. The doorbell rang. It was Zoe's favorite neighbor, Miss Fortuna. She always sparkled. Want to go to the party? How did you know? I have a few secrets, dear. I have to do the lawn, began Zoe. Miss Fortuna pulled bright red garden shears from her bag. To Zoe's amazement, the shears flew out of Miss Fortuna's hands. The lawn was mowed in seconds. Hmm. I know one characteristic of a fairy tale is the character having a conflict. And in this fairy tale, Zoe has a conflict with her stepbrother Finn playing a trick on her by changing her mother's computer password and causing Zoe to lose the privilege of going to Finn's party. What other characteristics of a fairy tale have you noticed so far? Did you notice the magic? We know that spheres can't just go out and cut by themselves. Zoe was thrilled. She ran to get her favorite, but Finn had hidden them. What will I wear? Fortuna handed her a pair of gold tennis shoes. Zoe thought they were superb. On the way to Randall's house, one of Zoe's shoes came untied and tumbled onto the street. It was ran over by a bus. You know, guys, I grew up with a brother who played tricks on me all the time, and sometimes I would feel annoyed. And played another trick on her. How do you think Zoe is feeling at this point in the story? I was thinking about it, and I was thinking Zoe might be feeling the way I was feeling. She's probably feeling a little annoyed because Finn played yet another trick on her. However, her feelings quickly changed because Miss Fortuna gave her a brand new pair of tennis shoes. But then one flew out. It just seems like Zoe's not having a very good day. Let's keep reading. My shoe! Yelled Zoe. Miss Fortuna consoled her. Two shoes don't make wishes come true. Randall beamed when Zoe walked in. He invited her to sit next to him. Noting her one shoe, he thought, this is something new. Then he said, cool. Everyone take off one shoe, just like Zoe. It was time to cut the cake. The candles were lit, and before Randall blew them out, Zoe smiled. One of her wishes had come true. How does Randall show that he was a good friend to Zoe? Did you say that Randall encouraged everybody to take the shoe off just like Zoe so she would feel accepted. That's what I was thinking too. Anytime I walk in somewhere and I'm looking a little different or feeling uncomfortable, when my friends make me feel more comfortable, it always makes me smile, just like Zoe did at the end of our story. Despite all the challenges that Zoe experienced, how would you describe how she's feeling right now? I'll give you about 15 more seconds to think about your answer. I think you guys probably are saying that Zoe's feeling accepted and happy. In the story, she even said one of her wishes had come true. That gives me hope that Zoe was feeling accepted and happy now that she was with people who really understood how she was feeling. Today we are going to use the empathize to understand strategy to help infer a character's feeling in a fairy tale using text evidence. Empathy is to feel what the character feels. When we empathize, we put ourselves in that character's position. To really understand a character, we have to try to experience what that character is experiencing throughout the story. To do that, we have to pay close attention to how people are treating that character, how the character responds to what's going on. And you can try to feel what that character might be feeling. Sometimes it helps to think about an experience you have had that's similar to what the character is going through. In our story today, Zoe was being treated unfairly, and she was disappointed when she thinks she won't be able to go to the party. She also was embraced by her friends when she lost her shoe, and they made her feel like it was normal. So, whenever we are going to be inferring a character's feeling today, we want to use this sentence stem. In this situation, I'd feel blank, so I think character is blank. We're going to have some text evidence on one side of our chart, and then we'll fill in the blanks of our sentence stem to empathize with that character. Let's try this strategy out. I'm going to show you what it could look like. The first text evidence we are going to use is now in our box. It says, Zoe, cried their mother, you know the rule. You can't use my computer without permission. Instead of going to Randall's party tomorrow, you'll do Finn's chore and mow the lawn. But Mom, I didn't. Laughing, Finn went outside. Hmm. Remember, I need to ask myself, how are the other characters treating Zoe? And how's the character feeling? I want to think about what's happening to her and see if I can relate to that feeling by asking myself, has this ever happened to me before? So, when I read my sentence stem, in this situation, I'd feel, well, I would feel really upset and unheard. I would also feel picked. So I think my character might also feel mistreated, unheard, and very upset. So this is the sentence that I came up with. In this situation, I would feel picked on and tricked by my stepbrother. I think my character is feeling tricked and upset too. So you can see how I took the feeling that I have based off the situation that Zoe went through, and I placed my feelings and connected them to Zoe's. Let's take a look at this excerpt from the story. Zoe was thrilled. She ran to get her favorite shoes, but Finn had hidden them. What will I wear? Miss Fortuna handed her a pair of golden tennis shoes. Zoe thought they were superb. So, ask yourself, how can I empathize with a character? This is the time where I want you to pull out your sheet of notebook paper that was folded in half. And I want you to use our sentence stem. In this situation, I'd feel or act blank. So I think my character is or will blank. I'm going to give you 1 minute to write down that sentence stem. And if you need to see it, it's the bold red that you see on our anchor chart. So write it down and fill in those blanks with your feelings and then how you think Zoe might be feeling. You have 1 minute. Did you write this down? In this situation, I would feel anxious and worried if my stepbrother hid my shoe. I think my character is feeling worried and hurried since she can't find her shoe and she's ready to go to that party. Did you write down something similar? Great job. Let's try one more. My shoe, yelled Zoe. Miss Fortuna consoled her. 2 shoes don't make wishes come true. Randall beamed when Zoe walked in. He invited her to sit next to him. Noticing her one shoe, he thought, this is something new. Then he said, cool, everyone take off one shoe just like Zoe. It was time to cut the cake. The candles were lit, and before Randall blew them out, Zoe smiled. One of her wishes had come true. So this time, you're going to do the same thing. Write down our stem on your notebook paper. In this situation, I would feel, so I think my character is, I'm going to give you 1 minute to write our sentence stem and fill in your blanks with what you think our character is feeling. You have about 15 more seconds. Let's take a look at what we have. In this situation, I would feel relieved if my friends didn't tease me and took off their shoe, too. I think my character is feeling accepted since they all took off one shoe to be like her. Did you write something like that down too? Zoe is probably feeling accepted because all of her friends are doing exactly what she was doing, even though she might have been feeling embarrassed about it. We have an exit ticket for today. So before we go and practice this strategy on our own, we're going to take a look at this question. Based on the story, the reader can tell Zoe, A, is happy that other people understood her feelings. B, is concerned people will not like her. C, is upset with her mom. D, wants to get back at her stepbrother. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to 45 seconds to answer this question on your notebook paper. About 10 more seconds. All right, let's take a look at our answer. Hold up your notebook paper. Did you choose A? Zoe is happy that other people understood her feelings. We saw that when they took off their shoe to be just like Zoe. So today we used the empathize to understand strategy to infer a character's feeling in a fairy tale using text evidence. Today, as you read independently, remember to ask yourself, how are the other characters treating the main character in your story? How is your character feeling? How would you feel or react to the situation that your character is going through? And explain what's happening in the story and what the effect is on that particular character. All of these steps will help you empathize to understand the character's feeling as you're reading your Just Right book. Before you start reading your Just Right book, let's go over how to choose a Just Right book that will work for you. You've probably seen this anchor chart before in your classroom. This is one way for us to choose the Just Right book for us. Choose your book and open up any page. For every word that you come across that you are not sure of, you'll put up one finger on your hand. If you put up 0 fingers, that means the book is too easy for you, and you might need to choose a new one. If you put up 1 to 2 fingers, then that book might be at the perfect. 3 to 4 fingers means you should definitely. But if you continue to not know some words, it's okay to choose a new one. 5 or more, that means that the book is too hard for you and you need to choose a new one. Today, to practice our strategy, we're focusing on fairy tales. So, some things to look for in the books you're choosing would be fairy tales, books that have characters, especially make-believe ones. The characters need to go through a conflict and a resolution, and you should see magic in your book. Books that might not work for this strategy today would be realistic fiction, nonfiction, or magazine. When you're selecting your Just Right book, I wanted to give you a few other examples of some fairy tales that you could use to practice comparing similarities and differences of characters. These are fairy tales that you might be familiar with. I'll leave them on screen for just a minute after I read them so you can jot the titles down. All these fairy tales are very popular and they can be found in books, but you could also Google them and find them online or on YouTube. Some examples are Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel, and The Little Mermaid. I hope you enjoy reading these fairy tales. See you next time.